Hey, Deb, you have some real nerve. Do you know that? I mean, really, just what kind of game are you trying to play here? I want to know why you're hanging out with my fiancé so much. Just what are you getting at? Wait, what? What is all this about? Who even are you and how did you get my number? Wait a second, I recognize the name now. Isn't this Lindsay? We used to work together, right? I remember now, I used to be your supervisor. That's right. I'm glad you deem me worthy enough to remember. But what I want to know is just what do you think you're doing hanging around with my boyfriend all the time? Your boyfriend? I don't even know who that is. Oh, don't you play dumb with me. You're not fooling anyone at all, you know. Just come out and admit it. You've been stalking my boyfriend for a long time now, and I know it. You think that I'm stalking someone? I literally don't even know the person who I would be stalking. This is just ridiculous. What's ridiculous is the fact that you're almost 50 years old now, right? So what I want to know is why an old hag like you is hanging around with a young man in his 20s. Don't you see how wrong that is for you to do that? Look, Lindsay, I can promise you that I'm not stalking anyone at all, okay? You're lying to me and I know it. I've seen you do it myself so many times. I know that you're stalking my boyfriend, and it is seriously starting to piss me off, so just quit it. I still literally don't even know who you're talking about right now. I talk to and hang out with a lot of different people, so it's possible that your boyfriend is one of those people, but you still haven't even told me who that is. Tall guy, always wears a suit, broad shoulders. Does that ring enough bells for you? I work in an office where everyone wears suits, so no, if that's all you have to describe this person, then I still have no clue. Why don't you just tell me this person's name so we can stop playing this text version of Guess Who? You really think that I'm going to use my boyfriend's name in a conversation with his stalker? I wouldn't dream of it. Well, that's your choice, I suppose. But I just really think that this is the least effective way to go about doing this. I don't remember asking your opinion on that. Just make sure that you keep away from my boyfriend. Do you understand me? I literally don't understand you because first of all, I'm not stalking anyone, and second of all, I'm married. I literally have a husband and a son. I don't believe this. You're even worse than I thought. You mean to tell me that you have a loving family at home and you choose to go after my poor boyfriend? Although, I bet if I had to guess, my boyfriend would probably have to be around the same age as your son. Which makes all of this even worse. You're disgusting trying to go after someone your son's age. You're an old, washed-up cow and you need to learn to stick to your own age bracket. Got it? I don't know how many times I'm going to have to tell you that there is no stalking going on before you believe me. Shut up! I am sick and tired of having this conversation. Just make sure that you never, ever go near my boyfriend. Ever again. Oh, David, I'm home.
Welcome back, Mom. I really missed you. I can't believe your work sent you on an overseas business trip for 6 whole months.
Thank you, son. It really is nice to be back. I can't believe that I was gone for so long either. You know, I was actually supposed to arrive yesterday, but the weather was just awful. And then there were technical problems with my plane, and it was just a disaster.
Well, I'm just glad that you're back today. After all, I'm getting married tomorrow, and I was worried that you weren't gonna make it when you told me you were pushing your arrival back.
I really am sorry for worrying you. I was pretty worried about missing it myself. More than that, though, I feel so bad that I haven't been able to meet your fiancé once. I know that you both started dating a while before I left, but we were always so busy, and then I left for my trip.
Well, don't worry. You two will have plenty of time to get to know each other from here on out, and you'll finally get to meet her at the wedding. I've told her all about you, so I think you should just rest up and get ready for tomorrow.
That's very sweet of you, David. And yes, I really should go get some rest and prepare for tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow for the big day.
Have a nice night, Mom.
You too, sweetie. I'm so proud of you. Okay, now you've really gone too far, Deb. Just what the heck do you think you're doing at my wedding right now, huh? I thought I told you to stay away from my boyfriend, so why are you here on my big day? Please don't tell me that the boyfriend you were telling me to stay away from back then is the same man that you're marrying now. Of course it is. David's my fiancé, and by the end of the day, he'll be my husband. But before that can happen, I needed to make sure that you left so you didn't ruin the whole thing. I know that you were up to something. And is that really your excuse for what you did to me? The moment you saw my face, you grabbed me by the collar and dragged me out of the venue and threw me on the lawn. Then, when I tried to get back in, you told the staff to make sure that I didn't step a foot inside. Just what are you trying to pull with that, huh? What do you mean, what am I planning? My plan is to keep an old cradle robber like you out of my wedding so that I can marry my fiancé in peace. Be that as it may, I'm only here to watch my son get married. Well, you must have gotten the wrong place, because the only wedding happening here today is ours. That's exactly what I mean. This is the wedding that I'm trying to attend. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have no idea what you're saying. Maybe you're already getting Alzheimer's, you old hag. Let me spell this out for you then. David is my son. I am David's mother. Get it now? Wait, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's make this even simpler. My last name is Fairbanks, right? David's last name is Fairbanks. Are you starting to put it together now? I don't know if you just never picked up on that, or just didn't bother to even ask to see a picture of your own fiancé's mother. And I'm also sorry that as his mother, I didn't make more of an effort to meet you. You're not making any sense at all right now, Deb. I mean, just how can David be your son? I guess the ages would make sense for you to be his mom, but just because you have the same last name doesn't mean you two are related. Besides, I remember that in the office you used to go by Baker. Right. Well, that was my maiden name. Your maiden name? Are you kidding me? I guess I'll explain all this to you too. When I first started working for the company where you later joined, I was unmarried, and all the paperwork there had me under my maiden name. Apparently, it would have been a lot of paperwork and a big hassle to edit everything in the system, so I just told my boss to not worry about it and keep using my maiden name for simplicity's sake. I think that if you ask around where you work for other women who started single and got married on the job, you'll see that this isn't uncommon. No, that can't be right. You are just making up excuses and trying to confuse me, aren't you? You really think that I'm going to be fooled by some perverted grandma like you so easily? Sounds to me like you just don't want to admit that I'm really David's mother. Of course I don't want to admit that, because it's simply not true. David told me that his mom manages her own company that deals with overseas trade. Basically, she's the total opposite of the sad, pathetic stalker that you are. She's actually done something with her life and owns her own company. She even went on a business trip for 6 months in another country. I doubt you've ever done anything like that in your life. And today is going to be the first day that I meet her. Well, you were mostly correct about everything that you just said. You mean like the part about you being a pathetic stalker? I'm well aware. Anyways, why don't you go ahead and tell David that his mother has gone home? Wait, what do you mean? Just tell him that you and I had a chance to meet and that I went home afterwards. I can't believe you're still trying to peddle this lie to me.
Hey, Mom, where are you? I've been waiting around since early this morning to see you. I really want you to come and meet Lindsay before everything starts.
Oh, we actually just met, dear. Didn't you hear from Lindsay?
What do you mean, so you're here already?
Well, about 20 minutes ago, I introduced myself, and she started screaming about how I was stalking you. Then she threw me out of the venue and prevented me from going back in. Just mention her old boss, Miss Baker. I'm sure she'll get the message.
Lindsay said that you were stalking me. I don't get it.
She did, and now I'm on my way to the emergency room.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, when she threw me out of your wedding, I tripped down some stairs and fell on my knee. It's starting to swell up a bit, so I think I need to get it checked out.
But I don't get it. Besides, didn't you come with Dad? Where is he?
Your dad was busy parking the car, and then apparently he forgot something and had to go back to the parking lot. It was all while he was away that this happened. But he's with me now and taking me to the hospital. Anyways, if you wouldn't mind telling Lindsay that I'm actually your mother, I think it would save us all a lot of time.
Right, got it.
This can't be happening. I don't believe it. You really were his mother this whole time. Why didn't you tell me before I did what I did? But I did tell you. I explained to you in great detail, actually. But you should have done more to make me understand. Well, I wanted to tell you in person, but before I could get a word out, you threw me down the steps. After that, I had no choice but to type it all out for you. Except you decided to ignore all of that and continue to treat me like a stalker. But that's only because I really did think you were lying. I mean, I thought that you were just some jealous old lady who quit because she knew she couldn't compete with me. But I had no idea that you left to start your own business and travel all over the world. Well, you basically took the words from my mouth. I only left that old job to start my own business. Me quitting didn't have anything to do with you, though. It didn't, at all? Although I do remember you quite clearly from those days, and it doesn't seem like you've changed one bit. Well, please come back to the wedding. It's okay now that I know you're really David's mom. I believe you now. I'm afraid I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I'm at the hospital right now because of what you did to my knee. So, you won't come back? David, please, you have to reconsider. I really am so sorry. I didn't do it to be mean. I just made a little mistake.
I just want to ask one thing, Lindsay. When you saw me walk up to you with my mom, did you really think that I was just having a casual chat with a woman who was stalking me? It's not like I haven't shown you any picture of my mom. Did you really just not realize that her and my so-called stalker were the same person?
I just don't remember, that's all.
You've got to be kidding me.
I really didn't know they were the same person.
Even if you didn't, you acted before you even bothered checking who my mom really was. You didn't even try to use your words or act like a responsible adult. And that's why I knew that I just couldn't marry you.
Please, we can still make this work.
Maybe you can, but I can't. I never want to hear from you again.
When I got to the hospital on the day of what was supposed to be my son's wedding, I was grateful that my doctor said my knee wasn't seriously injured. Apparently, Lindsay somehow heard that the injuries were quite light and tried to use that to get David to take her back. She told him that I was going to make a full recovery, and that in the end there was no permanent damage, so there was no point in canceling the marriage. In response, David told her that he was going to send her my hospital bills, as well as the cancellation fees for all their wedding plans. When she heard just how much that was going to be in total, she knew she couldn't pay it and begged even harder to put this all behind them. Of course, my son just ignored her, but Lindsay didn't give up and continued to follow David around, begging him to take her back. Finally, David felt like he had no choice but to go to the court and ask for a restraining order from his crazy stalker. Hi, Adriana. I heard you were going to get married. Huh? Oh, long time no see, Evelyn. When's the wedding going to be? We're planning on having it next spring. From who did you hear I was getting married? My mom was talking to your mom on the phone today. That's when I heard. Oh, is that so? I guess my mom did say that she was still in contact with your mom even after we moved into the neighboring city. I heard that you were going to marry the CEO of a large company. Oh, Yeah? Of course you're going to invite me to the wedding, right? I wish you would understand how much I want to celebrate the wedding of an old friend. You'll invite me, right? Well, if you insist that much. Okay, I'll invite you. Should I send the invitation to your parents' house? Yep, that's fine. Still, though, it seems like everyone around me is getting married recently. There are other people getting married as well? Yes. Just this day before I heard about your wedding, I got a text from a friend from university that she was going to get married. She says her husband is a soon-to-be CEO of a company. I'm so jealous of you two. Both of you have struck fortunes. It's not like I'm marrying him for the money or anything, though. But still, it makes me so jealous. Oh, sorry. Can we end the conversation here? I'm currently on the way to the convenience store. Alright. Well then, I'll be waiting for that invitation to your wedding! Hi, Adriana. I got the invitation to your wedding. Oh, okay. Reply as to whether you'll come or not by the date written on the invitation. Alright. But still, I'm getting so many wedding invitations, it's a mess. Oh, you said that everyone around you was getting married, right? Yep. In fact, there's another wedding ceremony I need to go to the day after yours. Oh, really? That means you're going to have to go to wedding ceremonies back to back. Will you be able to manage it? Both are in the capital, so it's fine. More importantly, though, I keep looking at the specs of everyone's husbands. Who's marrying into a fortune and who's marrying a regular office worker. You know, I remember it for everyone. That's an interesting way of remembering things. Do you think so? Well, just reply to the invitation, alright? Got it. Hi, Adriana. Are you getting along with your fiancé? What? Yeah, there aren't really any problems between us. Oh, is that so? What is it? There wasn't any hidden meaning. I was just jealous that you're marrying a rich man. Can I be honest with you? Huh? It's true that I'm going to be marrying the CEO of a large company, but it's not like I married him for the money. There you go again, LOL. There was no way for me to know that the person I've been going out with since I was 15 would start his own company in the future, right? You were going out with him since you were 15? That's the 3rd year of middle school, right? He's not someone from the same grade, right? Because I didn't know him. He's the same age, but he went to a different school than us. I met him at the cram school I was going to prepare for high school entrance examinations. We took the exams for the same school and we both passed, and we've been going out ever since the first day of high school. So that's how you two met. But at the end of the day, you're still marrying a rich man, right? I run the company alongside him. What? Okay, we're finished talking about this topic. There's something else I need to take care of, so bye. Hi, Adriana. What do you think I am right now? Are you already sleeping or something? Alright, I'll tell you the answer. I'm currently in a hotel with your fiancé. I was only your friend back in middle school because you would do whatever I told you to do, and that meant using you to my advantage was really easy. Put simply, you were my personal servant. And yet, you suddenly got engaged to a rich man. And he's handsome as well. That's why I stole him from you. Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. Oh, and I'm not coming to the wedding ceremony tomorrow. I mean, I stole your fiancé, so it's going to be canceled anyways, I suppose. Bye then. What is the meaning of this? What do you mean you stole my fiancé? This isn't funny, Evelyn. Besides, I was with my fiancé when you sent me these texts, so I know that they're not true. I myself am a witness that can prove that he didn't cheat on me, but still, I don't know what your intentions are, but it seems you don't want to celebrate my wedding. I understand you're not coming to my wedding anymore. Bye then.
Adriana! Hey, what's the meaning of this? Only my seat isn't at the wedding reception. Explain this to me now.
Huh? Evelyn?
I apologize for being late to the wedding and not being able to make it to the ceremony at the chapel, and not telling you about it, but there was some emergency that I had to take care of during the morning, and I was only able to make it to the wedding now. And yet, when I tried to enter, my seat was gone. This is so cruel. I thought we were old friends that could talk about anything with each other.
Didn't you say that you weren't coming?
What?
Didn't you tell me last night that you wouldn't come? Why are you even here?
Hold on. When I said I wouldn't be coming to the wedding, I meant tomorrow's wedding.
Didn't you send me a bunch of texts last night? About how you stole my fiancé and how you wouldn't come to the wedding?
What?
I'm busy with preparations for the wedding reception. Bye.
Adriana, there's a misunderstanding. Those texts were meant for a different person. I accidentally bombed you with texts instead of them. Those weren't meant for you. I told you before that there was another wedding ceremony that I would be going to the day after yours, right? The groom I stole was the groom of that wedding, not yours. I said I wouldn't come to that wedding. I still want to come to yours. You see, the bride and groom of tomorrow's wedding are acquaintances from university. She was always so rude to me, even though she was so poor, and she's trying to just sneakily marry a rich man, which is why I thought I needed to teach her a lesson, and... I'm happy about your marriage from the bottom of my heart, Adriana. These people have nothing to do with you. I have nothing against you, so let me come to the wedding reception. Adriana, please. Reply to my texts. Adriana, help me.
What do you want?
You see, I'm being asked to pay alimony. Not only that, but the bride is making me pay for the cancellation fees of the wedding and also the cancellation fees for the honeymoon.
Her name is Beth, right? The bride whose groom you stole and was forced to cancel the marriage ceremony and their honeymoon they had planned. She also canceled the marriage ultimately, right?
You've
Always had a habit of insulting people like that from time to time. I always noticed it, but it was usually tolerable, so... But to think that you would become the kind of woman who would steal someone else's fiancé...
Did I tell you that her name was Beth?
I heard about it from your mom. It seems that when the bride was reproaching you for stealing her groom, you brought up the fact that you sent me messages that were actually meant for her, right? She said that she wanted me to send her screenshots of the texts you sent me, since it could be used as proof of what you and her groom had done. She also told me the details of what had happened.
You sent her the screenshots?
I mean, can you blame me? You bothered us with what you did as well.
What? What did I do to you guys? Rather, you're the ones who made me really sad by getting rid of my seat at the reception.
But weren't you trying to come to my wedding after you just ruined the marriage of one of your friends?
But that has nothing to do with you.
It seems Beth had already noticed that you two were cheating beforehand. Apparently, she was waiting with her relatives outside the hotel you two were at that night. The groom was immediately caught, but you took advantage of everyone's attention being focused elsewhere to make a run for it. Which is why you arrived at my wedding late, which you had intended to come to immediately before getting caught. That's what happened on the day of my wedding, right?
You know that much?
Not only that, but I heard you were planning on getting lost in the crowd at my wedding reception and used that time to plan out how you were going to make an escape.
You know even that?
Those messages you sent me by accident? Now that I think about it, I was lucky to have received those messages. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have let you come to my wedding without knowing about anything you'd done.
But the incident involving Beth and your wedding are completely unrelated. I was planning on attending your wedding ceremony and celebrating just like everyone else.
I don't want someone who steals another person's fiancé celebrating my marriage. You disgust me from the bottom of my heart.
But Adriana, I'm all alone. Everyone's left me. I was also unlucky enough for one of my colleagues at work to be an acquaintance of Beth, which means that everyone at our company found out that I stole Beth's fiancé. I couldn't stand how everyone looked at me, so I quit, which means that I have no choice but to rely on you for help from now on.
Will you really not understand unless I tell you in clearer terms?
What?
I don't want to be friends with someone so inhuman that they would steal someone else's fiancé.
But we've known each other forever.
Don't think that just because we were old friends doesn't mean that we're unconditionally friends forever. Don't contact me ever again. Bye.
Adriana?
I heard this from Evelyn's mom at a later date. First of all, the groom that had cheated on his bride with Evelyn lost his position as the next CEO after this incident. His parents cut ties with him, and after paying what he needed to pay, quit the ceremony as well. He broke up with Evelyn as well and left his hometown as if he intended on starting completely anew. Evelyn, on the other hand, apparently not only did she think that there wouldn't be an alimony since the couple weren't married yet, but she also never even thought about having to pay for the wedding ceremony and the honeymoon's cancellation fees. I heard that when she saw that she had to pay tens of thousands of dollars, she fell to her knees and started shuddering in fear. Her parents didn't help her in any way, and in fact cut ties with her after the incident. Evelyn, all alone, now works mainly at a brothel, and is forced to take on shifts every day to support herself.